Hello, and welcome again to the Andrew Richter Show. I'll be your host for today. My name is Dennis Holman. On my left, a familiar face, Andrew Richter. On my right is Jason Bradley. And this is the time of year that cities are finalizing their budgets. So tonight, we're going to focus on the budget for 2012 for the city of Crystal. And I think Andrew's got a few things he'd like to open with.
Well, yeah, the budget process has really been going on really since about June or so. About the second half of the year, they spend a lot of the time working on the budget. And December 6th, which is a Tuesday night, is their Truth in Taxation hearing, where they basically try to justify all of their taxing and spending and all of that. And it's very interesting when you look at their budget. Now, I was at the November 10th work session where they were in the final stages of doing the budget process. And I heard some interesting claims that night. One of the claims I heard was over the last 6 years, they've cut $3 million from their budget. Now, the problem with that is when you look at their overall city expenditures on their simplified version of the budget, which is available on their website. It's only about 150 pages, so it's real simple. In 2007, the city was spending about $10,900,000 on the simplified version. Guess what the estimate is for 2012?
Well, you said they've saved about $3 million.
Yeah, so it should be 7.9.
Something like that. Yeah.
It is 12.3 million.
12.3.
Which is a 13.6% increase, about $1.5 million in the past, since 2007 increase. The increase for this year is 3.41%. Now, I've said before, I know I went to Cooper, okay, but tell me how going from 10.9 to 12.3 million is a $3 million cut. Mr. Bradley, tell me how that's possible.
I went to public schools. I think. No, I'm just kidding. It's impossible to be intellectually honest and say that you're cutting $3 million and you're adding to it. I mean, that's the fuzziest math I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's no way.
Well, and you add to it in September when they have to. See, in September, the way it works is in September they submit a preliminary budget. And then they work off of that until December. And at that meeting in September, the city finance director, who is very underpaid at $105,000 a year.
Did you say $105,000?
$105,000.
Okay.
And he's getting a 1% raise, I think, if I understand the language right. Said at that meeting that there will be no cuts to city services next year. So if you're not cutting services, and you're not cutting salaries, and you're not cutting employees, where the heck are you cutting money from?
Well, and the city's going to tell you it's because of attrition and they're not filling these spots initially. And that's exactly what it says. They're not filling them right now. So,
but what spots are they not filling? I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what they're going without because all the work seems to be getting done.
Yeah.
And from all my research, it looks like they still have around 100 employees. And I know you were telling me the same thing.
100 full-time equivalents.
Yeah.
And and again, whatever that means in government speak, but yeah, 100 full-time equivalents. And one thing we should mention too is the simplified budget, and I know Jason has some stats on this, does not include their phase plans, their special assessments. There's 5 more still to go. I'm going to get nailed on it in 2015, I think. And the average is that your city property taxes will double for 15 years. That is the average increase. So when they say people are only paying, and they'll make this case December 6th, well, the average home in Crystal is only paying $700 in city property tax. Well, how many people are paying far more than that? And alley reconstruction projects and all those things, I haven't seen any of them voted down. They delayed the phase plans 1 year, a couple years ago, during the height of the economic downturn. I think it was 2008 or 2009. They pushed everything back 1 year. They haven't eliminated plans to do anything. The government spending, the train has got a green light to pass, go, and collect way more than $200, I might add. So, but that's another thing. When they show you this budget, that is nowhere near all that they're taxing and spending, which is critical.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the devil is in the details, but unfortunately, they don't show us most of the details. You know, and that's how they get around a lot of this. I mean, if you look at the biggest chunk, 9.4 million under their major building replacement fund right now, and they
I don't
state-
see that on their budget anywhere. Where's that on there? Where's that building
That's the
construction?
fund balance as of December 31st, 2010. And they state in their 2010 CAFR, Comprehensive Annual Financial Statement, that they want to remodel or replace City Hall, the police station, fire stations 1 and 2, the streets and parks garage, and the community center over the next 15 years.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of these buildings, the community centers, underused as it is. What do we need to remodel it for?
It doesn't look that outdated. I mean, the walls aren't cracking.
It's about 20 years old, I think, is about right. Yeah, I don't. And again, that's something. Again, when we talk about the basic budget, you won't find that in their budget. You'll find that in the comprehensive annual financial report. So it's just on page, 114. Like kind of like where the New York Times puts a retraction. That's where you'll find those little details. So.
Or in all the text up in front of where the numbers and graphs start happening. Everybody wants to skip to that, and they miss all the stuff at the beginning. Oh, it's a award for excellence in reporting. It's a table of contents.
Well, given that the city of Crystal, given that they spend $12,500 a year handing out awards, it's probably good to have that right in front, don't you think?
Probably. It's the only award I know of.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
it's expensive. They got to put that in there. But I mean, there's all sorts of other things. I mean, within their budget that it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, having a fund that has over $850,000 for compensated absences. I mean, shouldn't that be built into their salaries already? Why do they need a special fund for that? How many FTEs is that?
That's a lot per full-time employee, if you ask me. I don't know what. And I don't know what is that compensated absences. That'd be personal time, sick pay, all of that combined.
Yep. Anything that they pay for,
Normally, in real world, that is included in a person's salary.
Yes, it is.
Well, the real world and the government, they don't make good friends sometimes. Well, and I think what really is troublesome to me is, if you look at the other cities, we'll get back to Crystal in a second, but if you look at the other cities around here, they're sort of in the same boat. They're on the one hand telling you they're cutting, and on the other hand, when you actually look at the total expenditures, they're going up. Brooklyn Center is proposing a 2.73% increase. New Hope, which takes credit for cutting everything on the face of the earth, is experiencing a 5.18% increase. Robbinsdale, 4.71%, and Brooklyn Park, 7.1% increase in their total expenditures. So, I mean, they all on the one hand say they're cutting something, on the other hand, they're spending more. Now, I know what they'll tell you, but they'll tell you that the local government aid formula is not being filled to what it's supposed to be. And I don't know that all those cities get local government aid. Brooklyn Park's a pretty big city, about 75,000 people. I don't know if they're getting LGA. Now, I know New Hope, Robbinsdale, and Crystal are.